don't give a fuck.
How we doing? Drinking.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Walking After Whiskey. I'm Shorty.
And I'm Travis. We're going to break down your latest episode of The Walking Dead tonight.
We're also going to break down separately some top shelf whiskey.
That's right.
That Travis is already drinking.
Yep.
Here's mine. Supporting the A's tonight.
There we go. Oakland. I'm drinking Four Roses small batch. It's a very good bourbon. It's a friend of the show. And I can't wait to have some of that Henry McKenna with you.
I'm drinking some Henry McKenna. So obviously we're coming
10,
to
episode
you.
14.
I know. Let's not get that wrong again. So obviously we're bringing you some different content tonight. So last night we were supposed to film. I wasn't feeling the greatest, so I just said let's be an overabundance of cautious and not film. And then today we made the decision to try to do this Zoom thing, which I'm having super fun with. I played Zoom bingo, which is amazing. So there's that.
Yeah, and we had a little ass kicker in my house. Little ass kicker, Charlie had a fever the past couple of days. So social distancing, and we're just making sure that making sure we're keeping everybody safe, even our friends.
Appreciate you. Miss you. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh.
Oh wait, do it again. Wait, come back here.
The other way.
Oh, for me it's the right way.
No, it's
That's what I'm looking at. I don't care. We're drinking. It's fine. Furlough drinking.
Let's get to this review.
All right, sounds good.
Start us out about Princess, your new favorite character.
Dude, I love her so much. Like, I can't even stand it. She grows on me, and in not just the show's kind of darkness that's going on right now, but the world's darkness that's going on right now. Like, she has grown on me so much. I love her. I love her. I can't say enough good stuff about her.
So Princess, like I told you, does she remind you of like a tank girl type of chick in the apocalypse?
Yes.
I said, yeah.
She also reminds me of me in the apocalypse. That's the thing that I think I love the most about her.
One thing I'll say about our review, since the episode was so scattered, our review is gonna be kind of all over the place too. But we're gonna start off with talking about Princess.
We're gonna try.
What I want to say about her, and sadly the death of the horses of the group. It almost seems like she's overselling everything, like her garage and like her weapons, and it's like you get there and it's like, okay, I see a bunch of bikes here. There's no cars here. Like it seems like she's overselling everything to keep them, occupied and keeping them interested in her, and then totally underselling when she shows them what's going on.
Well, she's lonely. Like if it's true that she's been alone for a year, like we've been in shelter at home. Some people up to 3 weeks, some people 2 weeks, some people 1 week. Like, can you imagine being alone for a year? Like it's a difficult thing. But what I appreciate about her is you see like her and Ezekiel have a connection because when she says that my name is Princess, Ezekiel gets that. I love that they cut to him and that he's got that look on his face. But also her and Eugene have a big connection too. Like it was so, I just love, like she was great for comic relief. I think she is a character that has that type of personality has not been introduced to the show before. And so how they react to her, and even Yumiko, right, comes to her, like has to acknowledge, okay, we might like this girl in the end. I loved it. Love her.
Yeah. I mean, I get that the whole walk and the whole adventure led to them coming around. I just think that maybe we should have been a little more forthcoming with what her intent was. Like, hey, can I come with you? And it might have been more well received than walking in the circles for hours. I mean, at this point, I think the only people that have a sense of urgency are the viewers, because it seems like there's like these little time jumps and there's this whole plan and plot to trick the Whisperers that we're not in on. And so every time we see someone, we think that Eugene is trying to go very fast to get people to help him and this war right now. And it just seems like then leading him in circles, people are dying. And it almost seems like Eugene not mentioning this is how important it is that they find these people. I hope that might have been a problem, communication, like, hey, we need to find them because our people are dying. Maybe we can circumvent to this roundabout they did. But it almost seems like to us, the viewer, we're a little more, have more anticipation right now than what's actually than the actual people in the show are showing us.
Oh, I agree. But there's also We don't know, like, how far. Like, I felt like there was a gap definitely between the last episode and this episode, and I couldn't quite put my finger on what that gap was. So, like, I just had to, okay, I'm going to take this time jump into the future with the show. So, like, do you have insight to that? Because I really don't know. Like, I looked at Paul and I'm like, how far did we just jump?
No, it's misleading, and it almost reminds you of like a casino, how there's no clocks in the room, so you never know, exactly what time it is. Walking Dead's kind of that way too. So we don't know, as we approach and start seeing this hospital, we don't know how long it's been. We don't know how long Eugene's been gone for, how far away the horse ride was. And I guess they kind of do that purposely, because with a running clock on the bottom, it might not make sense, where they are at these certain times. So they kind of leave it up to you. Remember, that's a TV show, and they're trying to develop these storylines. But again, for us, like, we have an impending war, and Bed is building up a brand new army of people, and it's just weird to see this intensity on one side, but then every other aspect of the show isn't kind of mirroring that.
Right. And then, so this show is also about relationships too, like quite a bit, and for the most part, almost like a lot of brotherly, sisterly relationships. So we had a big interaction between Negan and Lydia. Nice. Lydia. It's all backwards, but it says my happy day, my happy cup. But so you see that, and then there's such a big focus on Daryl and Judith's relationship. And it almost felt like the whole show was about that. It was like the introduction of this bright, shiny object, the relationship between Negan and Lydia that you just hoped, if you're human, you hope that it didn't get damaged. And then the relationship between Judith and Daryl, where she is holding on so tight to a family, because her entire family is gone at this point. Yeah. I cried. Like, at the end of that scene, I was a mess. It was a mess.
Well, not only, but obviously growing up in the apocalypse, there's no good mothers. So she was already had, no mother figure to look up.
I don't know how we haven't had any bad
fathers.
Fucking shit from that comment, by the way, but okay.
The fathers have been great, though. The fathers have all been good. Weird.
Well, there's no child support going on in the apocalypse, so there's that.
Jesus, ouch. So yeah, obviously, Daryl's the main character of the story right now. With Rick being gone, it all centers around Daryl, to me, anyway. And, and Lydia and she's the only Grimes left, really. Well, she's Shane's daughter, but she's the last Grimes that's there. And so, of course, they're gonna show that relationship, and they're gonna keep nurturing it, because as the show goes on, it's gonna be them two. And obviously, be very sad when one of them has to go, but it's gonna be like, they're going to tout that relationship throughout the whole series going forward.
But do you really think that had Judith disclosed that Michonne was going after Rick, that Daryl would have left? I don't think so. Like, there's a big point that, obviously Judith withholds that information, but I don't think he would have left anyway.
That was a crazy thing to see her make that decision, right? Like, in her little head, she had the option of telling him. But remember, when Rick blew up that bridge, Daryl was gone for 5 years looking for Rick. He left for a very long time trying to find Rick. Do I think he would go? Honestly, with Michonne being gone, I don't think that he could. I don't think that he would feel okay with not having her mom and her dad and everyone gone, because she would get lost in the shuffle. And I think that Daryl, even more than ever, is now feeling like her father.
I agree, but they made that a specific point on the show. And I like that whole scene. Like, I was a mess. Like, I was a mess.
Sure.
I loved the scene. I loved the dialogue. I loved how much that mutual affection is there. Like, you don't see a lot of affection from Daryl. And that whole scene, like, it just broke my heart. It really just broke my heart.
Think about it too, when if it also leaves the seed open there as well, that later on she can talk to Daryl about why she never told him that. If Rick does come back, or just as to keep things going, it definitely leaves that dialogue that she can tell him later on, hey, I never told you this, but this. And so, it kind of by not saying anything, it just shows how much she loves and needs Daryl right now. As strong as she portrays to be, she a little girl needs her dad. She's like, what, 9 years old? So, she's everything she can to keep people around here.
Right.
So speaking of, let's talk about Lydia and Negan relationships.
That was so. He feels bad, and I actually felt crunchy when he talked about, I really liked your mom. I'm like, dude, don't fucking say that. I actually felt crunchy about that situation. And in the end, though, Negan grabs her in, like, very sweet. Like, he's just a softie. Like, he really is. He has a soft place in his heart for Lydia. He has a soft place in his heart for Judith. Like, he just really wants to be
Carl,
a dad.
And Carl.
And
soft spot for Carl too. I mean, he
absolutely.
And one thing about Lydia, just as much as he was, he was a huge outsider, and they still have not really let him back in. And so he was basically seeing, what he was going through a young girl's eyes, So it's kind of like, only person here that knows what you've been through is me. Let you show you how much I know. Yeah.
Right.
What are you gonna tell a girl who you killed her mom to? Of course, you're like, I looking back at what you think it might have been a bad idea to say, like, I like your mom, I like different aspects of her, but it's like, what you could tell this girl, like, you just killed her mom, right?
Well, at least you didn't say. At least you didn't say, oh, by the way, I fucked your mom.
Yeah, that'd have been a little dirty. He made one
but
day.
You can tell that Negan had a kindred spirit with her. So, like, I just thought that both of those sibling somewhat relationships, I just thought they were super sweet, super endearing in this episode. I kind of think it's what we needed before the break a little bit, going through what we're going through right now in the fucking world. The only thing that I have to bring this up, just because of all of the haircut references going on right now, I love that Princess actually had said something about the hair dye, because I'm like, girl, how'd you get that purple? How'd that happen? So she makes that reference. I got plenty of hair dye. So I thought that was like kind of a cute, especially during this time. That was a really cute little reference.
Yeah, people are definitely wondering where that color came from.
It was good. It was good. So, I mean, overall, I actually felt like the previews for the next episode are kind of a little bit more exciting than this episode, because it looks like a lot of shit's going to hit the fan. But this was go ahead.
One thing that's, that we're not let into is there is some kind of overarching little, I guess, trap for the Whisperers, and we don't really know what's happening. The viewer doesn't know what's going on right now.
Because right now it looks like it's going to fail.
They're going to Oceanside, right? And I don't know if this hospital was like meant to take place, but they're all kind of held up in this hospital now. They don't tell us why or how long they've been there, but everyone's been there for a while. Like, I mean, things are set up. People know where the kitchen are, where things are, the beds are. So it's very, very awkward that we weren't part of the whole, this is part of the plan, or this is the plan. So,
well, and that's why I was confused about how much longer after the last episode that this episode happened. I was confused about that, but it really did have kind of a couple cliffhangers in there, because it looked like the Whisperers had a plan, and then it got debunked a little bit, but now they're still at the hospital. So, and then, but Aaron and what's his bucket? I'm calling him Josh because I don't freaking know his name. Whoever the fuck he is, I don't care. Whatever happens with him, like, so it's interesting how this is how it's going to play out, because there was a clear plan and a clear trap, but we're not privy to any of that information.
Yeah. And so even part of, like, I guess these cats have taken over this whole building, even so much so that Judith doesn't want to be inside the building because the cat smell is so bad, which her mentioning that just lets you think of like an old Catwoman's house, of just how just disgusting it probably is in this house.
But also that's a weird clue that Beta has, that where to go, and he's half wacko anyway, so we'll see what happens with that.
Well, the dead people are now talking to him, which is a little weird to see, it was kind of hard to process.
So I do need to acknowledge the mask is way better now. Like when he first put that crap together the last episode, I was like, this is ugly and terrible. But now they actually kind of disclose a little bit. It's in her Alpha's face is a little more now, I guess, or deteriorated. But the stitches are guitar strings. So that got revealed, which I thought was really, really cool. But I don't know. The trap thing, like, you always got to hope for the good guys, and we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and point to the good guys. In a converse with a child, asking Gabriel how they're going to get out of this because all the dead people are outside. He says, don't worry. You see 5 fingers; they're not much to look at, but together, it's and he said, it's Oceanside, Hillside, Alexandria, and the Kingdom, and then who's the last one? He goes, these
extras.
Don't know yet. Yeah, these are people that we don't know that are helping us. So either Gabriel knows that there's help coming, or he's waiting on God to send him help. Which
I think it's everything's on the Stephanie person. I think there's that, and I also think in the grand scheme of things, they also know that yes, Maggie's still out there, and another random grand scheme, like nobody knows where Michonne is, right? So there's that. I mean, there are key people that are out there that nobody knows where they are. So they're. I wish that we didn't have to be in this cold right now to figure out when these episodes are going to start rolling again. It like really breaks my heart that I don't even know, Travis, when we're going to fucking film again. So yeah, it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart.
Yeah, and we do try to do a lot of events and things like that too. So hopefully, as social distancing becomes maybe shorter, maybe within 3 feet, we have a little more fun. The 6 feet's kind of hard.
So real quick though, we do have to acknowledge that that Carol and Kelly interaction was amazing.
Right,
it's great. She actually forgives Carol for not killing her sister, apparently, because she's like a really. I mean, there's another character, right? Who knows what's going to happen with her? She may or may not be dead. So
yeah, we don't know. Or it could be like the way of Heath. Who really knows?
Right. All right, you ready to toast this episode with whatever you're drinking for roses?
For roses.
For roses, I got Henry McKenna. With my A's glass. I'm not going to do it the right way, so I'm not even going to try.
R.I.P. baseball. Makes me sad. Makes my heart hurt. All right, guys. Well, good review. Thanks again, Shorty. I'll be seeing you very shortly, maybe in a week.
Yes. What I want to leave this episode with is something that stuck with me. Everybody, however long the shelter at home is in place, find your superpowers. Find your superpowers. That's what's going to get us all through this.
You got time to find them, too.
Yep, I got a minute. That's for damn sure.
All right, guys. Well, good review. Thank you guys for watching. All right. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, you guys. Bye. It's really distracting that I can hear myself. Hey, walking fans and whiskey lovers. In keeping with our trend of trying to promote local businesses, tonight we want to highlight Father Paddy's in Woodland. It is mine and cameraman Paul's home away from home, and I am missing that crew tremendously. It actually takes every bit of strength in me to not constantly text that group how they're doing and how much I miss them. So, but what we wanted to promote a little bit tonight was they actually... Pat and a friend of his named Brian came up with a virtual tasting. So on Fridays at 8 p.m., they've actually been conducting virtual tastings from the vault that's in Father Paddy's. And if you haven't seen the vault, it's an old bank. Father Paddy's restaurant is an old bank, and inside is an actual whiskey vault, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. But what they do, so the last 3 weeks, so this is the third night, and they're actually tasting scotch tonight. So what they do is you can actually... go in, you have to order food with this, but you can go in and you're not going to be disappointed. So just order the food because it's amazing. But you can go in, and with your food purchase, you can actually also purchase whatever that they're going to be tasting for that evening. So like I said, tonight is scotch. What I started doing, just because it's easier for me, and because, I don't know if you know this, but if you watch the show, you know that I'm not super familiar with whiskeys and scotches and bourbons. So what I do is I actually make kind of my own little placemat, and that actually kind of helps me to keep track of what I'm drinking a little bit. And even if you don't have the actual liquors that they are sampling, we haven't had a single one. We kind of toast and drink along with them as they're tasting whatever they're tasting. But you learn so much about the particular types of alcohol that they're tasting for that evening. So like I learned so much about bourbon last week, whiskey was the first week, and tonight is scotch. So you should tune in, follow them on their Facebook page, Father Paddy's Public House, and learn something new about scotch this evening.